Hi, I'm John with Rio Grande, and I'm here with the Olivia. This is the newest mill from Durston, and I'm here to give you a review. Let's get started. So right off the bat, I know that you can see some differences between this mill and a standard Durston rolling mill. A standard Durston rolling mill has a lever on the side of the machine. It also has a fairly small gearbox. The standard gearbox ratio for most mills is either 4:1 or 5:1. The gearbox ratio for this Olivia mill is 50:1. That means on a standard mill, for every 4 or 5 rotations of the handle on the side of the machine, it's one complete rotation of the rollers. With this mill, it has a 50:1 gearbox. So that means with every 50 rotations of the wheel, there is one rotation of the roller. Being that it is a 50:1, it does take 50 rotations of this wheel to go one rotation of the roller. And it's going to decrease the normal speed of rolling metal through a mill. However, with a 50:1 gearbox ratio, it cuts the power required by what? 10 times a 5:1 gearbox ratio. It's much easier to mill metal in this, even though it is slower. It takes less power to do. So now let's go ahead and do a comparative roll between the Olivia mill and the C130. And I'm just going to go ahead and run this in real time so that you can see the difference between the Olivia and the 130. So I'm using my C130. This is the original DRM C130 with the 5:1 gearbox. I'm using 18 gauge copper. It is been annealed, so it is fully dead soft, and I'm using a pattern plate, and I'm going to keep the variables the same pattern plate, same metal, same annealed condition. I'm going to go into the mill, tighten my mill down until my stack does not pull out. And then I'm going to take note of where I am on my wheel gauge. Then I will back off the wheel. I'll pull my stack out. I'm going to set it back to where it was on my wheel gauge. And then I'm going to add 15 units to that. Now I'm going to go ahead and roll the pattern. So this is the plate that went through the Olivia. This is the plate that went through the original C130. Right off the bat, you can see that this plate that went through the C130 has a deeper texture. Even though I used the same amount of units for both of these rolling mills, this tells me that the scale on the Olivia is not the same as the scale on the C130. So what I did is I went ahead and instead of 15 units, I went up to 20 units. And this is the pattern that came out of the Olivia with 20 units of pressure, and it is almost identical to the one that came out of the C130 with 15 units of pressure. So the Olivia mill comes in two different configurations. We have the combo mill like this, and then it comes in a flat variation that has just flat rollers, 130 millimeters wide, and extension rollers with 4 D grooves for half-round wire. The combo mill has a 80 millimeter flat area for rolling sheet and doing texturing, as well as 11 square grooves for rolling square wire, and the extension rollers with 4 D grooves for half-round wire. So I've worked with the Olivia now for over a week, and I found a few other things that differentiate this mill from a standard mill. So yes, this mill does take longer to produce stock. However, it does not take anywhere near the amount of force to run a plate through. Texture plates in a rolling mill are really the most difficult thing that you're going to do in a rolling mill. You don't normally take that kind of a bite in your metal whenever you are just reducing stock. So doing pattern plates was definitely the best test that I could give to this mill. Another thing that I found out was in reducing stock. So I reduced a couple pieces of sheet here. Whenever you are working with a standard mill, you have to stop midway to gain purchase on the handle to continue to roll it through. In doing that, you end up with ripples in your metal. With the Olivia, the wheel is constantly turning. That means the rollers are constantly turning, and you get very few ripples in your sheet. It's still going to ripple to a certain extent, but it is definitely noticeably different. Another thing about the Olivia is that you can actually work this mill setting down. So if you have trouble standing for long periods of time, you can actually set and you can utilize this mill, which is a huge, huge thing over a standard mill. So to sum everything up, the Olivia mill takes less force to actually mill metal or texture metal with texture plates. It does take more time than another mill, but to me, less force, more time is a big win. The Olivia mill, in my opinion, is a game changer in the world of rolling mills. It is the next best thing to an electric mill. I hope you enjoyed the review of the Olivia mill. If you have any questions, please pop them down in the comments below, and you'll find a link to this product in the description below. So to wrap this video up in a completely corny nature, keep on rolling. We'll see you next time.